When we redid it, they wanted to go to tape. So we went to tape, which he did not have experience with. So when we did our first show, for instance, which was done the traditional way.
Welcome to our channel. Hope you have a great day. Hal Linden, the lovable captain on Barney Miller, is now 92 and living a life unlike any other. Despite his limited screen time, his journey from clarinetist to television icon is still inspiring. So what is Hal Linden up to now? Let's explore the fascinating story of this Hollywood legend. Life looks like today. Hal Linden, who was born in 1931 and is best known for his role as the captain of the Barney Miller series, has reached a special milestone as he enters his 9th decade of life. Turning 90 is a remarkable achievement that few in the entertainment industry can achieve, and for Linden, it is not only a milestone in time, but also a period that has witnessed many changes in his life, both in terms of challenges and quiet joys. Born Harold Lipschitz on March 20, 1931, Hal Linden has outlived many of his Barney Miller co-stars, including familiar faces such as Abe Vigoda, Fish, Ron Glass, Harris, and James Gregory, Inspector Luger, who have all passed away over the years. Although age has brought natural health decline and Linden has been less and less visible in public, fans are still constantly looking for the latest information about him, wanting to know more about the health and current life of one of the legendary TV stars. In 2019, Hal Linden suffered a health scare that left him hospitalized after a fall backstage at the Texas play The World According to Snoopy. Fortunately, after examination, doctors determined that he was simply dehydrated and the condition was not as serious as initially feared. However, this event marked a turning point in his career, forcing Hal Linden to face the reality that his health was declining with age. Despite his health not being what it used to be, Linden continued to participate in a number of events, especially reunions honoring Barney Miller and classic TV shows. In November 2021, he appeared at the opening night of A Christmas Carol at the Ahmanson Theater in Los Angeles, showing that he remains agile and active despite his advanced age. However, his appearances have become increasingly rare, suggesting that he is gradually withdrawing from the spotlight and only attending important events that he feels are meaningful. In recent years, Linden has gradually reduced his professional commitments and focused on a quieter life in California. He maintains a private lifestyle, away from the noise of Hollywood. While many other stars have completely retired as they age, Linden has not completely given up on his career, but has only narrowed his scope of work. His most recent role was in the 2019 film Granddaddy Daycare, a lighthearted, low-stress project that reflects the change in his choice of work as he ages. Although his life is less public now, Hal Linden is still actively involved in community and charitable activity. He supports many veteran organizations and is always enthusiastic about performing arts education projects. Along with that, Linden also spends time on personal hobbies, maintaining his health and enjoying the peaceful moments of his old age. Hal Linden is now not only a monument of American television, but also a living figure associated with the golden age of entertainment. Despite the difficulties of age and health, he still maintains a certain influence, enriching the cultural treasure and heritage of American television. Although Hal Linden had an illustrious career and achieved great success in the entertainment industry, as he entered old age, he faced new and difficult challenges. Quiet, lonely, and reflective moments began to replace the noise of the spotlight. But does fame always bring joy and satisfaction? Or is it sometimes a burden that makes people feel more alone than ever? Loss, loneliness, and reflection. Behind the limelight and public recognition, Hal Linden's final years were a challenging journey, where profound personal losses shaped his life, though few knew about these silent pains. After more than 5 decades in the entertainment industry, where he achieved great success and became a television icon, Hal Linden faced inevitable traumatic events that made his life no longer the same as his golden years. The greatest loss of his life was the loss of his beloved wife, Frances Marie Martin, and after 52 years of marriage, Frances passed away at the age of 82 in Santa Monica, California, leaving Hal Linden in indescribable pain. They began their marriage in April 1958 and built a happy family together, Frances was not only his loyal wife, but also the one who stood behind and supported Hal in his transformation from a musician to an actor. She was a strong support for him throughout his career, and also a caring mother for his children during his busy years on the artistic path. After Frances passed away, Hal Linden went through lonely and thoughtful days. This loss became even more severe when he looked around, and Linden also realized that he was the last survivor of the cast of Barney Miller, a television show that he had been attached to for many years. Only he and Max Gale, who played Detective Wodji Howich, survived after co-stars such as Abe Vigoda, Fish, Ron Glass, Harris, and James Gregory, and Spectre Luger. Every time Hal looked back, he could not help but feel a void because his old colleagues and friends were all gone. These departures left a hole in his heart, making the process of reminiscing about the time they worked together all the more poignant. When Jack Sue, who played Sergeant Yamana, passed away during the show's run, the cast filmed a special tribute episode, raising cups of coffee to toast to the memories that would never fade. It was a way for them to reminisce about the beautiful moments of a time gone by. Not only did Hal Linden lose his family and friends, but he also faced health problems as age gradually eroded his body. After a hip replacement surgery in recent years, he began to realize that his body was no longer as durable as, but the physical challenges did not make Hal Linden give up on life or career. He shared, "From the moment I left the hospital, I had a child with me every minute. I never asked for it. They just showed up." This shows that the love and care from his family helped him to overcome difficult times in his life. With a nature that always seeks creativity, Linden continued to work even when his age reached the point where he was no longer healthy enough to continue participating in large projects. Creative work for him is not only a career, but also an essential need to help him maintain his clarity. "As long as I can keep doing this and keep my brain active, that's fun," he said, showing that he sees creativity as a way to keep his life meaningful and full of energy. Even though he is no longer involved in large projects, he still finds ways to continue to be involved in theater through small, almost free productions. In addition, Linden also revealed in an interview in 2019 that he has been in a 4-year relationship with a woman he is pursuing. This shows that despite being over 90 years old, he still maintains optimism and hope in life, and still knows how to love and care for those around him. Part of his favorite activities is golf. Although he admits to being a very bad golfer, he is very passionate about this sport, showing his perseverance and joy in maintaining healthy habits in life. Although Hal Linden's life has been shaped by the challenges of old age, few people know that his path to a successful career began with an unexpected beginning. Before becoming a television icon, Linden had a deep love for music and theater, factors that have strongly influenced his life and career. So what made a young man with a passion for music decide to change direction and enter the world of stage life? Hal Linden's unlikely start. Before becoming a television icon, Harold Lipschitz began his journey as a talented young musician in the Bronx, New York. Born on March 20, 1931, he discovered his passion for music at an early age when his brother introduced him to the clarinet. Initially drawn to classical music, young Harold developed remarkable skill with the clarinet during his formative years. He honed his talents at New York's prestigious High School of Music and Art, where his technical proficiency and ear for melody set him apart from his peers. Following graduation, Harold pursued his musical ambitions professionally, playing with various dance bands and orchestras. His clarinet skills eventually earned him opportunities to perform alongside notable swing bands of the era. During this period, he became increasingly captivated by jazz, allowing the improvisational style to influence his musical approach. The budding musician further developed his craft at the American Theater Wing, where he studied music theory and performance. Throughout these early years, Harold never imagined the dramatic career shift that awaited him, one that would ultimately lead to his becoming the beloved actor audiences would later question, "Is Hal Linden still alive?" Harold's musical career temporarily paused when he enlisted in the United States Army during the early 1950s. Rather than interrupting his artistic development, this military service unexpectedly redirected his entire professional trajectory. Assigned to the United States Army Band, Harold continued playing his clarinet. Nevertheless, the military experience offered him something unexpected. his first real exposure to theatrical performance. The army often organized entertainment for troops, and Harold found himself participating in these productions, discovering a natural affinity for the stage. After his discharge, Harold returned to civilian life with a newfound interest. Although music remained his primary focus, seeds of theatrical curiosity had been planted. This curiosity blossomed when he accepted a job playing in the pit orchestra for a Broadway production. Watching performers from his musician's seat night after night, Harold became increasingly fascinated by acting. Eventually, he made a bold decision that would redefine his career path. He auditioned for roles himself. To his surprise, his natural charisma and presence earned him his first acting opportunities. As Harold transitioned from musician to actor, he recognized that success in show business often required strategic considerations, including one's professional name. Harold Lipschitz didn't have the marquee appeal necessary for a rising performer. Consequently, he adopted the stage name Hal Linden, creating a more accessible identity for audiences and casting directors alike. The transformation wasn't merely cosmetic. It represented his evolution from clarinet player to serious actor committed to theatrical craft. Newly branded as Hal Linden, he immersed himself in acting studies and began building his reputation on stage. Throughout the late 1950s and early 1960s, Linden secured various theatrical roles, gradually establishing himself as a versatile performer capable of handling dramatic and comedic material with equal skill. These formative years laid the groundwork for what would become an illustrious career spanning decades. The foundation built during this transition period from musician to military bandsman to aspiring actor created the resilient professional whose longevity would later prompt questions about Hal Linden's health and whereabouts. And even at 92 years old, the artistic versatility Linden developed during these early years continues to define his approach to entertainment. His unlikely journey from clarinet player to acclaimed actor demonstrates how unexpected detours often lead to remarkable destinations. From his early steps on the music and stage, Hal Linden quickly demonstrated his talent and versatility, but was his popularity simply the result of his outstanding talent, or were there other factors behind his admirable success? Broadway and Barney Miller, Hal Linden's journey from stage performer to television star showcases how a Broadway triumph can unexpectedly launch an enduring television career. His path to becoming a household name took a decisive turn in the early 1970s, ultimately leading to the role that would define his public image for decades to come. After years of building his theatrical resume, Linden secured his career-defining stage role in the Broadway musical The Rothschild. This production, which opened in 1970 at the Lunt-Fontanne Theater, told the story of the famous banking family's rise from humble beginnings in Germany to financial empire. As Meyer Rothschild, a family patriarch, Linden delivered a performance of such depth and charisma that it earned him the 1971 Tony Award for Best Actor in a Musical. The Rothschilds ran for fifth. Notably, it represented the final collaboration between acclaimed composers Jerry Bach and Sheldon Harnick. Linden's portrayal of the determined, principled Rothschild patriarch showcased his ability to command the stage and carry a major production, qualities that soon caught the attention of television producer. Television producer Danny Arnold had witnessed Linden's Tony-winning performance in The Rothschilds and saw in him the perfect actor to portray the level-headed captain of a New York City police precinct. However, the path to Barney Miller wasn't straightforward. The first pilot did not sell. Linden once explained about the show's beginning. At the time, he faced a significant career decision: continue his successful Broadway trajectory or venture into the uncertain world of television. With another Broadway musical offer on the table, Linden waited until the last possible moment before making his choice. I finally said to my manager, "Well, we've done Broadway, let's try television." It was that cavalier. Linden admitted about the decision that would alter his career forever. 6 to 8 months after the initial failed pilot, Arnold convinced ABC to try again with additional episodes, finally securing the network's interest. Unlike other police dramas of the era that emphasized car chases and shootouts, Barney Miller depicted the mundane reality of police work, paperwork, phone calls, and the daily grind of precinct life. This approach earned unexpected praise from an authentic source. Joseph Wambaugh was once asked what was the most realistic cop show on TV, and he said it was Barney Miller. Linden noted about the former police officer turned crime writer's assessment. Over the years I've talked to many policemen who've told me the same thing. The authenticity stemmed from creator Danny Arnold's strict limitations on the actors. His limitation was, would you go to a police officer for help who behaved like that? This kept performances grounded and realistic, avoiding the exaggerated characterizations common in other sitcoms of the night. Real officers particularly appreciated the show's portrayal of actual police work. One New York detective wrote in the New York Times that most of the action does happen off-screen, and we spend a lot of time back in the squad room writing reports about it. He added that, like on the show, officers crack jokes at one another, at the cases that come in and at the crazy suspect locked in the holding cell. This commitment to realism and subtle relationship-based humor rather than punchlines contributed to the show's enduring popularity and explains why, even now, as Hal Linden approaches his mid-90s, the character of Captain Miller remains his most recognized role. How do you feel about his career journey? Which Hal Linden role has left the deepest impression on you? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more interesting updates. Thank you and see you in the next video.